Another question which often comes up, I was speaking to some economics students yesterday at the Norwich School here where my art exhibition is, and I got a couple of questions about pricing. How do I decide my prices for my art? How do you set your price as an artist? Obviously there's no rule book, so how do you what kind of thought process do you use? And I started off a couple, 3 or 4 years ago now when I started off. I researched a few other artists in my field and in my kind of rough area who do pop art and print type things, to use them to get a rough idea and use them as a benchmark to get a sense for what they sell at. So that was one way that I kind of got a rough idea. I looked at costs, materials, like canvas and painting materials, the cost of those. The big cost is time. When so many hours go into a piece of art, that's often the kind of biggest cost that goes in. So that's I kind of thinking how many hours and use that to kind of get a rough figure. And then just kind of think in terms of the rough bracket that the price of an original painting goes in. So if a painting is around £1,000, I think, how does that fit to kind of the market and the rough audience I have in mind? So that's that with the originals. The prints are priced from 35 to 75 in different sizes, that's pounds, including delivery off my website. So there's a nice good spread of different price points there. The merchandise as well and all the different bits I do of my website and the clothing, these come at different price points as well, to really cater for different needs and tastes and budgets. And the key is just to kind of listen to feedback for the prices, and I did over the first year or so, tweaking the print prices slightly and the painting prices over time, just kind of getting a rough sense for how do people respond to certain price levels and for different items. Just kind of going and learning over time, and being very clear not to undervalue myself as an artist. I think that the risk is we want to go too cheap, so I try not to do that. And I want to kind of build some perceived value into the artwork that I'm selling, whether that's the originals or the prints. So that's how I decide pricing. I also have a sounding board of, my mum actually is really good with the kind of business pricing side, so she often helps to take the kind of emotional, when I'm thinking in myself, my own artwork, she is a good kind of external sort of voice that can also help me get some clarity on how to price things. So that's a good way. So it's tricky as art because it's not a commodity. Another little point about pricing that I used about 4 years ago to help me decide my prices when I set them was to be quite ambitious in terms of pricing the rough level of my artwork. The way I thought about it was not to think just what's the kind of artwork at the minute. When I was starting out brand new 4 years ago with By Kerwin and all these pop art paintings, I was ambitious and aspirational in terms of the price I wanted to achieve for my artwork. So I deliberately set a level that I knew was kind of, a kind of decent amount and valuable and had some good perceived value to it. And the challenge since setting that price 4 years ago, has been to raise my own artwork, raise my game, raise my level, raise my standards up to meet that level. So not just bringing the price down to what I see my artwork is currently at, but also instead setting my price and then having set myself the challenge of raising my art level and my kind of reputation and brand and everything to that level, to justify that price. And I think that's not just the kind of artwork, it's all the kind of customer service, all the information I provide, all the kind of good story that I tell with my art of how I've kind of got to this point, all the blogging, all these kind of little bits. So people are kind of buying into the package of what my art is and what it represents, and kind of building out the kind of augmented experience and all the user sort of experience of what they get when they buy some artwork. So that's another point about how to set pricing, and maybe it's good to be ambitious and to set yourself what it's worth, and kind of set yourself high standards that justifies the prices that you want to achieve for your art. Hope that helps. Bye bye.